He's never seen a Harry Potter film.
He's never played The Legend of Zelda.
Until now. Welcome to Experience This, episode 3. Thank you for joining us, episode 3. My name is Ezekiel Gutierrez from bestgeekblogever.com.
I'm Andy Coleman with theothersportsguys.com.
We are taking a journey together, parallel journeys, experiencing geeky things for the very first time. I had a great experience with growing up with Harry Potter. You had a good experience growing up with The Legend of Zelda, but neither of us have done those. The other thing. So we are doing this show, playing through those, documenting, playing, watching the movies, and then coming right back here and talking about it. And it's been fun so far.
I've enjoyed it.
Even though you don't like the movies.
I know he doesn't. I hate the movies.
It's about that time in both our journeys where things are starting to just...
Things start to happen.
That's right. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Go.
That's the one that's supposed to get me.
It was.
We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
Oh boy.
I'm still not invested. I'm still not there. I'm invested because we're doing this and because, obviously now I think I do have a desire to finish it. Mm-hmm. I do have a desire to actually see where it goes, but it's more from the perspective of how much more ridiculous can this really get, because I've still felt like this is pretty lame. Yeah. This is still pretty lame. I don't mean to offend anybody. I don't mean to offend you.
It is really interesting now that I'm kind of going back and watching these, experiencing these with you, that, I was really excited. Like, when we popped this one in, I was like, here it is. It's gonna get them. And that opening is, wow, this is really corny.
I've heard good things about this one. People that are Potter fans, they say this one is really when it starts. Probably sometimes it could be one of the better ones. And I was just like, couldn't wait for it to end. Yeah, sure, he met his, godfather, and he has somebody to hang out with rather than the Fatty Fattersons. Hermione learned how to time travel, which is cool, but apparently she's just been doing that forever. I still am not feeling like I'm enjoying this yet.
Yeah.
This one was definitely darker. This one was definitely a little more, there was more actual legitimate magic going on. It just wasn't happening from any of our characters other than Hermione, who I think is the only one that does her homework. She's the only one who knows how to do anything. Except Harry Potter learned how to do the one thing where he looks like a deer. I'm a deer!
Expecto Patronum. We got introduced to quite a bit of new elements and characters. The Dementors, Sirius Black, Remus Lupin. Those are all characters that will stay with the series for some time.
Okay, the guy that was the werewolf his name was...
Remus Lupin.
Remus Lupin. I liked him. Mainly because I liked the actor. I recognized him. I don't know his name.
David Thewlis.
Okay. For once, that they found a teacher that, for the class, the Defense Against the Dark Arts, that actually knew how to do something.
Right.
And actually trained him, actually showed him how to do things rather than just kind of faked it. The scene where they're at the wardrobe kind of thing. And what was the monster thing that came out at them that takes the shape of whatever they fear the most?
That's the boggart.
I'm a deer! With the boggart.
Yep.
Where he actually shows them the ridiculous. It was kind of cool. The werewolf thing was cool. He looked awful as a werewolf. Didn't look like a werewolf at all. But I guess their take on a werewolf, sure, that's fine. They held on to that one too soon. And
I don't remember seeing any of that stuff the first time I watched it through. I don't remember seeing any of that stuff.
But what you said was that you watched these through as they were happening. So you were younger.
I was in the theaters.
Right, you were in the theaters, you were a little younger. It was more of like a kind of experience where I'm sitting here already casting loads of judgment down on the movie. And it seemed like they finally had a legitimate teacher who, spoiler alert, doesn't stay because, he's a werewolf. Sirius Black. Okay, he was wrongly accused of something, and so now he's got all this, pent-up anger, I'm sure, towards it and towards some people, and so that might be interesting later on, but I was just sort of like...
But you've got Harry in this one who takes, huge roller coaster, who goes from finding out that there's this guy who he doesn't know, who wants to kill him, then he finds out that he's responsible for his parents' death, so he's going, alright, now I've got to kill him, he can bring it, because I'm going to kill him, to finding out... Not so much, actually.
I was sort of sitting back going, okay, wait a minute, who's what now, like the rat's alive. And like I said, it was a darker movie, so I think it drew me in a little more away from like the, oh, hey, this is all child, like this little kitty stuff going on. That was actually kind of like, whoa, that's some serious stuff. Like that's really happening.
Real life or death.
Yeah, life or death type situation. Harry Potter didn't get in trouble again. He blew his aunt up, and no problem. Using magic against muggles. It's cool, dude. It's cool.
Don't worry about it.
It's cool. It's your movie. Do whatever the hell you want. Well, and something I noticed, too, is that they are doing a lot with developing who Harry is and sort of his separation from other kids.
Right.
And he spends a lot of time with the teacher, showing you, just by proximity of other students, that he's kind of a cut above. He's special. Yeah. And so if you didn't catch that already from the name of the movies, you'd start to get the idea that this kid's something different, something unique.
One of these movies, he's going to come in front of this camera, and he's going to go, nice. Nope. Okay, moving on.
I'm a deer! The Legend of Zelda, The Ocarina of Time. Section 3 at this point included learning about the Zoras, the underwater people.
That's right, yeah.
And Lake Hylia, you saw that, which that'll come into play later. And you got to go inside of Jabu-Jabu's belly, which was a lot of fun. That took you forever to find out how to do that, which I'm trying not to help him too much, but at times it's... I didn't say this in the last episode, but I have to say it. I'm not sure what's more painful for me right now, is watching you try to Z-target things or watching Harry Potter.
It's terrible. I'm just like...
I'm struggling.
You know, it's fun. It's good that one of us is just really, really enjoying one of these things, because I think I'd feel really bad putting us through this if we weren't enjoying this.
Right.
This particular section, I had to split up in 2 parts.
Right.
2 sittings.
Right.
Generally, we see the movie, I play through a section, vice versa, whatever.
Right.
This one took a little bit more time. I had to split section 3 into 2 sittings, because it was taking me such a long time to figure some things out that were frustrating, and I looked at the clock and I was like, okay, Andy, you got to tell me, where am I at in this section? You were like, you're about halfway through, and I was like, oh boy.
There were some times when certain enemies and certain things, you were just having a hard time kind of dealing with it, and it does sort of ramp up. It does get a little bit harder there.
I came back on tonight to play the second half of 3, a different person.
It was
I was on.
It was a completely different...
Z-targeting, no problem.
It was handled like a boss.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I've got the Master Sword now. I've got the Ocarina of Time. So here's what I didn't know. Thought I had it the whole time. Didn't. Had a fairy ocarina.
Right.
Some stupid wood shit. Now, it's the blue thing, the ocarina. I've learned the song of time. I have to keep reminding myself that I have all these things, and I can pause the game at any point, equip myself, take my time and go through. I think that's one of my biggest things. I gotta kind of, as much as I've taken quite a bit of time playing these games, I do have to sometimes go, slow down, figure out what you have to do, and then attack. Fishing, I could see myself, after this game is done, just spending time fishing, because that's a blast. That's a blast. But the characters that are being introduced are interesting, and you want to explore. It makes you want to experience those things and not rush through it just to get done. You know, because we could easily be doing that. I could easily have the guide open, run through it, and just be done. But it's the experience of it, and the story itself is really quite exciting. I mean, as much as I think I've seen elements like this, like in film or something before, I do feel like I'm experiencing this specific story for the first time. And I'm experiencing it from a very different medium than I'm usually used to. Mm-hmm. I mean, as much as I play video games on a regular basis, it's not like this at all. Right. They're not these huge, long, sweeping stories. And so from like a cinematic standpoint, it is very interesting, and I'm really enjoying it.
I thought that would be the thing that would maybe lose you. You'd think, oh, this story's a little bit, lame, or it's not moving enough, and so you lose kind of the desire to do the next thing. Right. No, not at all. I don't feel that at all. Well, thank you for joining us on another episode of Experience This. Andy, thanks for joining me again. Absolutely. Thanks for having me. You can go to bestgeekblogever.com for all of this wonderfulness. You can watch episodes 1 and 2 now. And until next time. Is that better? How does it look? Just going ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Rad. I'm a deer.
Suck it up, Andy.
I think I've said something different every time.
You have. It's actually good.